Hi, this is Pat McDonald, your host for Banter and Beans, where we ask the question, what's brewing in Montpelier? And joining me by Zoom is Jessie Williams, who is the owner of Thrive Healthworks. Is that correct, Jessie? Welcome.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, great to meet you.
Thank you.
So can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself and about your business?
Yeah, so my pronouns are she, her, and I own Thrive Healthworks, which is a Reiki, breathwork, and voice therapy practice. I started out, well, I still am, a speech language pathologist, and really got interested in breathwork as a speech pathologist and working with voice clients, and that kind of expanded into Reiki. So I'm trying to provide this holistic health and wellness practice in all those areas.
That's great. I tried Reiki one time. Maybe you can explain what Reiki is, because you're not, they don't touch you, but I think a lot of it is you and how you're viewing things in your head. Is that sort of a good explanation? Because it worked.
Yeah. So Reiki's energy healing. We believe that there's a life force energy that flows through all living things, and that can channel universal life force energy and clear blockages and imbalances. So the Reiki I provide can either be hovering over certain areas of the body, or with gentle touch. And a lot of my clients have found that it recharges the body. It can help promote relaxation, can help with stress and anxiety. It can help with just trying to help with mental and emotional being and well balance.
Well, it works for sure, because I wasn't sure, and I said, I'm going, because I usually would get the deep tissue massage, and so I understood they were doing it, offering it for free up at the hospital. And I knew one of the women who was doing it. And so I went and I said, I'm just going to make this work. And I felt marvelous. And it lasted. It didn't, like sometimes with the massage, when you leave it, the feeling goes away faster than you'd like it. And the Reiki stayed with me for quite a while.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I got involved after I had my son. I had a lot of anxiety and stress going back to work, and my friend suggested just going and having a Reiki session, and it was like night and day.
That's
with
great.
how I felt. You know, it really took me out of that sympathetic nervous system, that fight and flight response.
Right.
Put me into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is kind of relax and digest.
That's
so
great.
and I went on and became a Reiki master and learned these techniques to help myself and my family, and just fell in love with it so much I wanted to help others.
I realized there was touching, but is it that to help you focus on where it's hurting you?
Yeah, there's gentle touch. You know, you can go, there's different chakras of the body, different areas that can be imbalanced. I find that adding the human touch is really essential. I feel like people don't get a lot of touch in their lives, and just adding that human connection can really help the energy flow.
That's great. So how did you settle on Montpelier to start your business? Because you told me you're on State Street, but on the second floor or up above?
Yeah, I'm right above Bohemian Bakery. So great place to stop by before or after. So you really feel like you've had a relaxing, calm day.
Right.
But yeah, so I'm from Central Vermont originally, and I came back. I love the community. I love the small town feel. And I really like how Montpelier, the community really, enjoys like holistic health, alternative health practices. You know, we have acupuncture and massage and other energy healing. And I thought this would be a great place to do it. And it's kind of central, Montpelier is one of those places where a lot of us don't actually live in Montpelier, but we do everything in Montpelier.
Well,
so getting people, it's like 15, 30 minutes for everyone, right?
I think Montpelier, there's just something about it that attracts people, not just the capital, obviously, but all the stores and the feeling. And I was so impressed, having worked with Montpelier Alive, how close the businesses are to each other and how supportive they seem to me as an outsider to be, that they're very supportive of each other, which you couldn't ask for anything better than that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
And
I'm sorry, how did COVID hit you and your business? Because the person's got to be there while you're doing the Reiki.
yeah, so I actually started my business a few years ago. So after the initial wave of COVID.
Yep.
And, I just make sure that I have HEPA filters. I have 2 run in the office. I actually wear an N95 just because I'm so close to people.
Yep.
And I feel like that really helps people feel more comfortable. Not everyone feels comfortable wearing a mask, and that's fine. Some of my clients will do that, others won't. I also provide breath work and voice therapy.
right.
So I'm able to do telehealth with breath work and voice therapy as well.
Great. And tell us a little bit about that. What are the conditions that you deal with? I know there's a vocal cord, it's like a paralysis of the vocal cord that some people do have.
Yeah, so people can have vocal cord paralysis. People can develop muscle tension dysphonia. That's where, overuse of the voice.
Right.
People can develop polyps or nodules. I work with a lot of Parkinson's patients whose volume decreases over time. So we work on increasing the loudness of their voice. And I also work on gender affirming voice care.
Oh, please explain that. That sounds fascinating. What is that?
Yeah, so gender affirming voice care is if people don't feel aligned with their voice, I can help people learn how to make their voice sound more feminine, masculine, or gender neutral, androgynous.
Oh, that's really excellent. Where did you learn all this stuff? Is there a class or school that you went to, or OJT? How did you learn this?
Yeah, so I'm a speech language pathologist. I did my master's program at the University of New Hampshire.
Oh, nice.
I've been practicing as a speech language pathologist since 2008.
Wow.
I really have a passion for voice. I mean, speech pathologists work with a lot of different things, aphasia, word finding, speech issues, cognitive issues.
Nice.
And so I really fell in love with voice and helping people.
Do you get a lot of people referred to you by doctors?
Thrive HealthWorks, I have, that's where we get our referral source from. I still work for a regional hospital. And so, yes, that's how we would get referrals, is through doctors.
Yeah, that's great, because you're mentioning Parkinson's and others that they would probably go to a doctor and realize they need help, may not seek you out themselves. That's great, excellent. So you didn't get impacted by the floods, I'm assuming, other than perhaps people didn't come as often as they would.
I actually did. I was on Elm Street. Yeah. And so that was my first year in business.
Right.
Big learning curve with that. But I was on the second floor. So even though my physical space, my stuff was not impacted, the building was shut down, and I ended up having to move because even when I started my business back up at the end of September, October, the building still had a smell. And with the doing breath work, that really impacted people's ability to, do breath work when you're having this smell.
Right, exactly.
That's why I ended up moving my business. Yep.
Well, that's good. I'm sorry that you got impacted, but yeah, Elm Street got hit. Wow. Yeah, and I'm also, I say this every show because I'm just absolutely paranoid about mold. And if you smell something, it's probably not good. So it was a good decision to move, I think, because mold is, you don't necessarily know it's there, but you can certainly get sick from it. So that's interesting.
Yeah. So as a result, I've reduced my hours. I had more hours previously in that office. And it's taken a little bit of time. I feel like it hindered my progress with my business. So I still feel like that's still on the up and up.
Did you get any help from the state? I know Montpelier Live was certainly working to get funding for people.
Yeah, I didn't apply for anything because on the second floor and not physically losing anything and being a new business, I couldn't really say how my hours were impacted because I was so new. So I couldn't say how many patients I was not getting in because of the business. So I didn't feel like I could at the time. So fortunately, with my other job, I was able to do more hours for that, but not for the business.
Oh, interesting. So are you planning ever to do a 100% business, or going to keep the double schedule? That seems like a lot.
Yeah, that's a good goal to have. I've thought about that. I think that this is a great experience today talking about energy healing, because I don't think a lot of people understand energy healing and breath work. So I think it's really important to start getting my voice out there. Being a small business, it's really, I have to focus on where I'm going to put my money in advertising.
Yeah.
And so that's also a challenge. Advertising costs are,
Right.
Even though places are trying to make it affordable, and Montpelier Live, helps out with that, it's still a challenge that I have as a business.
Well, and are you the sole employee? I mean, you're alone? Or do you have somebody to help you?
Yeah, so I am a sole employee.
Oh, okay.
If this became more of an interest, I've had other people contact me about going into practice together. In all three of those areas. So there's room to expand. I also just took a sound healing course. So I'm going to be adding sound healing to my practice, adding tuning forks where you place them on the body and get that vibration during the Reiki session, along with sound bowls.
Okay. So Jessie, let's talk about, you just mentioned something to me. I have to ask you about Reiki for animals. Mm-hmm. How does that work? That I'm just so excited to talk about this. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I provide Reiki for animals, all different animals.
Yeah.
And animals love Reiki. They love the energy, and they actually don't take as long as us humans. They really respond really quickly, but just putting the energy there, the gentle hands, they respond really well. Helps a lot of animals with reducing anxiety, really helps them relax, or if there's a behavior issue, it can just help relax them to work on that behavior issue along with their veterinarian.
That is awesome. Well, I told you I went to a walk the dog event. It was a fundraiser, and they had a woman there who had a table, and she was giving massages. And the look on these animals, it was like, they died and went to heaven. They were loving it. That is so cool. I'm surprised that they understand it must be energy, because they do understand what's happening, even though you're not really massaging them, right?
Yeah, and when I go to my acupuncturist, her dog knows that I provide Reiki, and he comes and sits in my lap and asks,
Do me. That is the best story ever. That's really great. So we talked a little bit about how Montpelier, I think, my impression is they have really helped and banded together and helped each other out, I think. And I don't know if you know, Montpelier Alive is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year. And I think kudos. I know Katie wasn't there the whole time, but she has certainly, what a way to start a job with the COVID and the floods. And she has really been amazing, her whole staff.
Yeah, Montpelier Live has been key in keeping our businesses and our community active and vibrant. They're such a part of our Central Vermont, family.
Yeah, well, they certainly have everything they do, event they have downtown, they draw a lot of people. And there must be a way that you can advertise maybe through them or something to get the word out about what you do.
Yeah, they have a weekly newsletter that they send out.
Yep.
So I was profiled in that, and whenever I have sales, which I try to promote around different times of the year, they post those as well.
That's great. You were also mentioning that you just took a course on sound therapy. What is that?
Yeah, so I am now going to be able to provide Reiki and breathwork with sound tools such as tuning forks and sound bowls. And you can take the tuning forks, which increase the vibration, you can actually place them on the body. And so it can just help amplify and enhance that energy.
Nice. And the sound bowls, what is that?
There's different sound bowls that you can, I wish I had mine to show you. Make different sound, and it's such a calming, and depending on the frequency, the body responds to that sound with healing and relaxation.
It's really interesting. That's great. Are there there's nobody in town who does Reiki, is there? I mean, you are sort of the sole person?
Yeah, I'm not aware of anybody else that's providing it currently. Could be. I know that there's also someone in Barrie as well.
Oh, really? Well, I think it's great that you got involved in all of this. And what would be the next step for you if you wanted to bring on more employees and expand your business?
Yeah, I think just increasing the clientele would allow me to bring in some people that have asked to also come in, even if it's just giving them a few hours a week.
Right.
Flow, and potentially expanding it into other alternative healing practices as well.
Great. And you work closely, I would assume, with their doctors, because if a doctor has sent them to you, you must be in touch with their doctors to understand what other issues they've got going on in their bodies that they're dealing with, right? Because I think none of us have just one issue, it seems. And the older we get, the list keeps growing. So you need to know all that information, right?
Yeah, definitely with voice therapy, I'm involved with their practitioners. So it might be the neurologist or their primary care provider or their ear, nose, and throat specialist, otolaryngologist. But for Reiki, mainly it's people, they come themselves. They don't need a referral. You just...
Right.
And, a lot of people share with me what's going on. Sometimes people don't say anything and I can feel different energy blocks. And then I tell people and they're surprised that I can feel those areas and how they shift.
You can read the body. Right?
Some people to work on lowering their blood pressure or their heart rate, reducing their anxiety, really just trying to promote that relaxation.
That's nice. If the doctor sends you, they must insurance must cover people, I would assume, correct? Or not?
Not cover it yet. I know in Canada it is covered by that. But if a doctor refers, I try to keep my prices down so people can afford it. I also will put up the sign on State Street for walk-in Reiki for people to try. So, it's $10 for 15 minutes just for people to give it a try and see what it feels like.
Right, because I know when I was talking to some doctors at UVM doing a show, they were talking about how healthcare has changed for them, that they really do look at the whole person and the whole body, not just the particular issue that you're dealing with, because they look at what health-wise you might do, tennis and massages and stuff that really help. So at some point, the insurance is going to have to catch up with all of this because doctors are looking at the whole person.
Exactly. Reiki is being provided in hospitals around the country,
Right.
Lots of times on the floor, so inpatient. It's being cancer patients when they go to the cancer center. And now there's some studies where they're taking Reiki practitioners and having them doing Reiki before surgery and after surgery. And they're starting to see some improvements in healing and pain outcomes with that.
Well, we're going to run out of time in just a minute. Could you tell us a little bit about your website? Do you have a website or way for people to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so my website is at thrivehealthworksvt.com. Again, that's thrivehealthworksvt.com.
Okay.
And you can go on there, you can schedule an appointment, you can read more about what I provide. It also has my phone number on there too, where you can get me directly.
Excellent, thank you. Jessie Williams, thank you very much. I hope you all check Jessie out. come on downtown. There's so much going on here. We really thank you for taking the time to listen. This is Pat McDonald, your host for Banter and Beans. See you soon.